Good morning. Welcome to Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. My name is Sanda Davis, and I'll be your host today and for many, many shows to come. Question is, will the shows come in the continuum that you've seen so far? Today we have show 43. So for 43 shows, we kept it every week. Now we came to a point where I'll have to do my best to keep the show on the air. As you understand, there are expenses. I have to pay for production and for airtime, and I would gladly sell everything I have to keep the show going, but I put all my work into the divine work, and that's fine. If any of you feels that they love the show so much and understand the importance of the show that they want to jump in and rescue it and sponsor with welcome, with open arms and with blessings, right now I will do my best to keep the show going in case I don't want to look on the other side, because there are many people that have to make their choices and there have to be free choices. What I want to say is that the continuation of the show is important, that there'll be forms in which the show can continue, even if it's for a while just on the internet. But I prefer to have it on television. I know the difference between having a show just on the internet and having it on television. Thing is that now I have to do what is possible, and one thing is sure, that now that we transition from the old system in the financial ways as well, the old world was not going to support financially something that is talking about a future that's paradise on earth. That's a present that's paradise on earth. And that's understood. It's part of the journey that we have to continue, and we know that the whole planet needs economic help. While the planet is extremely wealthy and extremely able to provide for everybody, the way wealth is misused makes it so that there are people striving to survive, and there are people who hoard more than they can ever use. That will be divinely balanced without depriving the wealthy of what they have, but teaching them as well the ways of paradise, where they would step in and care for projects that will take care of their own humanity and their own paradise being future. So it is a learning process. It will take a while. Meanwhile, whatever struggles any of you have with finances, know that divinely the structures of prosperity are already on earth. That divinely the help for everybody who has financial difficulties are already on earth. When I came to earth to help people, I did not preserve for myself wealth and ease. I had to live as hard as any of you have, so that I could be close to all of you, so that I could understand all of you. It's really easy to live in wealth and comfort, and it would have been really easy divinely to decide that I'm coming with wealth and comfort, but that would have defeated the purpose. I had to come to the point where I could feel what you feel when you don't have what you need, when I could hurt like you hurt when you hurt and you don't know what to do. I had to live it, I had to experience it to be able to come with a deep solution. I had to go through all the stages of difficulties that you do in order to come out of it with all of you. If there is a black hole of poverty, I had to sink in poverty so I can come up with everybody and offer prosperity. Any trap that was made against human development, I saw the trap, it was laid for me. I stepped into the trap and came out with everybody who was in that trap. Now, some things were easier for me to evaluate just watching on television, but like in this lifetime, I can watch violence on television. I don't perform violence, but I can watch violence on television. I don't have to be, and I cannot be part of it. In all my previous lives, I have been victim to violence. Every time I came to Earth, I was stopped. And it came a time when I had to come from such a high level. I kept coming with the different levels of my being. And as I came with the wholeness of my being, now I can be here and stop the violence. Now I can be here and stop the poverty. Now I can be here and stop the ravages of old age. I don't want it for me. As soon as they started, I thought, no, this has a solution. I'm not letting this happen. If it is about the color of the hair coming back, if it is vitality, if it is pain that has to go away, the insight that I gained as the old age illness was trying to attack me as well, gave me what it takes to live it, to refuse it, and to invite you to refuse it, and to teach you how to deal with the old age illness, like reject it. You are supposed to live long, well, in good shape, and that can be achieved. I'll give you some pointers, but the teachings on longevity will continue and will come to a point where you'll understand what it takes. Now, you have to understand that longevity that comes back now requires further learning. This is why I cannot insist enough saying you have to learn from me, I know what I'm talking about. I will help you, and I'll show you on television rejuvenated by much more than any cream can do for you. Of course, you have to make the healthy choices, but on top of the healthy choices is the divine work that will make the difference. Now, think about this. You've learned to die, you've learned to be ill, you've learned to be overwhelmed by incurable conditions, diseases, illnesses. You've learned to age to a point where all of your functions were vanishing, where people could not recognize their own children because the memory function was not well, or people could not articulate something sane because dementia would set in, where people could not make a few steps because their motor possibilities, their motor functions were impaired. Could not see, could not hear, because their functions were impaired. Where there is dysfunction, where there is impairment of function, there is great God potential for recovery of function. Just because you lost some functions, it doesn't mean that you have to stay there with the loss of function. I will teach you step by step, regardless of how this particular Saturday morning show will evolve from the financial point of view. There's always social media, there's always coming back. As soon as the finances build up, there's always coming back to the show and presenting what the world needs to know. Paradise doesn't go away if a show goes away. But I will never stop teaching about paradise, about your longevity, about your health, about your well-being, about your birthright, to start learning the good ways. You've all learned what the old system taught you. The old system taught you how to die. The current system, which is the paradise organized around everything that is life on earth right now, will teach you how to live, how to get well, how to maintain health, how to live long. Everything is in place. The way there is air to breathe, the same way there is a lifetime for you. The way there is water to drink, the same way there is longevity for you. You just have to learn it, because you've learned the wrong things. Now you have to unlearn some of those, and you'll have to learn some of the right things. I'll just give you just a few points. For longevity, you need growth, regeneration, toning, God, paradise, precision, and wisdom. I'll explain another time all of those things, what that means. Point is that you have to live long enough. You have to live long enough to have your chance to increase your longevity. First, you need to survive in order to increase your longevity. As you survive, you'll also learn how to increase your prosperity. You are not supposed to be poor just because your pension is running out. You are not supposed to live less just because you have the age or people used to stop living. Now you'll have to continue, and there are steps. There are stops, there are steps. That's specific to the old age. You can step ahead and you can stop a little bit, put things in perspective. And this is what is happening with the steps to living long enough. The first step is survival. The second step is improvement. The third step is correction, followed by more improvement. Fourth step is growth of some helpful kind. And then you start to find the buds of longevity, which are in you from birth. The buds of longevity, the buds for growth. The buds for growth are happiness, thriving, dignity, enthusiasm, activity. The buds of toning, because for longevity you will need growth, you'll need toning. The buds of toning come from hope, positive interest, confirmation, recognition, and truth. Then you'll have to deal with regeneration. So you need regeneration, you need toning, you need survival, you need to live long. Now, the buds for longevity that you need, which are growth, regeneration, toning, God, paradise, precision, and wisdom, have their own requirements. Regeneration requires confirmation, recognition, and truth. The buds of regeneration: truth, life, youth, knowledge, and care. So you see, there are very precise things. Usually I speak freely. Right now I had to look a little bit on the teleprompter because I wanted to make sure that you can go and write them down as you watch them on YouTube and think on those things to realize that you have to learn. We're talking survival. You have to learn what survival is. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the Mother. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. healing with the mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia, of any kind, contact me, the mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. Today's show is called Survival. Now, why am I talking about survival in the context of talking about longevity is that survival is the first step towards longevity. First, you have to survive, and as you survive, you'll learn how to survive longer, and then how to increase the quality of your survival, how to increase the quality of your life so that you can live longer and longer. I was talking in the previous segment about the fact that there are steps towards longevity. Well, for infinite life, it takes the journey very similar to the journey of 1,000 miles. It starts with one step. And the first step in surviving 1,000 years is to survive past 100 years. If you learn to survive past 100 years and you start learning the real things, then you can survive longer and longer. It is a process in which what you learn, what you do, how you do it, how promptly you do it, would make a difference. But it is absolutely possible because right now the human race has proven the goodness, the capacity, the quality. You'll see so many things that I've been talking about in so many shows about people doing things for other people, people caring for people caring for enlightenment, for paradise, for the planet, for those who know of paradise. There are so many people who didn't find out yet what it really is and how that works. When that will happen, it would be enormous. The impact will be enormous, positive and so good. The joy in people's heart when they'll understand that this is real and it's in their hands to make it happen. They have already tried. They have already made steps. Like if you look at the first free hugs, that was such a movement. Then the random acts of kindness. Wow, what a concept. Care for pets, turning vegan, not hurting animals, not hurting each other, manifesting for peace in a peaceful way. There are so many things that are being done in a massive proportion that people have proven their worth, and they have connected to the divine in a God-responsive way. Now that has to work more between God and people, and all deities, all divinities, all spiritual levels, all religions, all science, all understanding has to work together to leave behind the things that don't work, that were proven to be just a waste of people's lives and tragic waste. And they have to be left behind. What doesn't work will be left behind. What works will continue. So be encouraged, because if you are alive today, you focus on surviving and you will know longevity. Now, for the people who have good pensions, good retirement homes, good family to care for them, this is easier. It's hard with pains and confusions and other things, but progressively it will get better and better. Now for people who have no one to help them, that's a different place to be in. And that's why we have to be there for each other. For people who are in pain, we have to bring the solutions. For people who are deceived, we have to bring the truth. For people who walk the road of life, but they walk it slowly with pain and concerns, we have to be there with encouragement. And we all have to know that the divine power that's on earth now is for everyone who is weak and weary. It's not just for those glorious ones who have a good retirement fund and everything it takes to just do their best until it's out because of wrong teachings that cut it short for them. It is for all. Survival has to be there for those who have it hard. Survival has to be there for those who have it well. I'm actually happy to work with people who are well off because they have the means to take good care of themselves, to demonstrate the possibility. If you have what you need, if you do what it takes, if you learn what it takes, you live so much longer. Oh, hooray, wonderful, they can be the examples. If people talk about nutrition and they teach you nutrition to live longer, they have to have nutrition. It's hard to teach nutrition to those who have no food. And in the next segment, we'll talk about those that have nothing. And we'll talk about the survival that starts in childhood, the children who have no food. We're talking paradise, we're talking longevity, and we have 1.8 billion people who struggle with $1 a day. And in the next segment, we'll talk about $1 a day. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the Mother. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information. And let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Healing with the Mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia, of any kind, contact me, the Mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the Mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Well, welcome back. We're talking about survival. In the previous segment, I was introducing you to the idea of look at the range of survival between people who are well off and people who need the help, whom we should not abandon. And we should all pull together to make it possible for everybody to have a chance for good nutrition, for good activity, for good learning, for good education. That would lead them further. People who are alive today, they have to benefit from the environment that does provide for longevity. And we'll do our best. The prosperity with the paradise that's in motion will increase in ways that will help the people who are at the limit of survival because of insufficient means. To think that there are people on the streets who have no place to live, this is inconceivable. This should have never happened. But that is a reality, and there are as many people as are on the street. There are many more people who think of solutions, who try something for the homeless. To think of children who starve, who cannot develop. They came from the stars. They came here to earn life and evolution and be ready to go back to their stars with something to teach those places. And they stay here dreaming to become something, to do something, and they cannot because their struggle for survival is so big that they cannot go anywhere. That is tragic, and that's a tragedy that Paradise will put an end to. And it is wonderful to see people who are multi-billionaires who achieve something through their own work that brought to society many, many values and much well-being and sustained a lot of technological advancements and scientific advancements and cultural advancements that now they have to understand that they have to sustain the advancement of humanity, that they have to sustain all human beings towards life, education, safety, and health. These 4 parameters of Paradise are fundamental. And it takes all of those who have and who can to step in and to do something about that. And it is happening, and it will be happening to a much greater extent. Paradise is not the coming of communism. Paradise will have people who will have a cottage and happy to have a cottage, and people who will have palaces, and they need the palaces because of the nature of their activity. They can have mansions where they have their own conference room because the nature of their work requires a conference room. Other people can say, I don't need a palace, all I need is a cozy little place with love and books and a little piano or a little sweetheart there with whom I can travel the world and just not have too much cleaning to do. And there's so much to people's individual needs and individual choices, but no one should be without shelter, safe home. No one should be without food, no one should be without education, and no one should be without the possibility of fulfilling their capacities. I watched on Netflix a documentary called $1, Living on $1. And there is an organization called Living on $1. You'll find it on the internet, living on $1.org. Now, 2 young people who studied international development took 2 cameramen and went in Guatemala in a place that was extremely poor, and they volunteered to live at that level. This is a must-see because it shows the beauty of humanity and the importance of satisfying the survival, the fundamental needs, to the point where it allows the growth and development. I was impressed there by a young lady who was talking about the fact that she always wanted to be a nurse and she needs to go to school to learn to be a nurse. But poverty will prevent her to do that. After the break, I'll tell you more. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the mother. learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Healing with the mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia of any kind, contact me, the mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back. We are talking about survival and the connection to longevity and to the future of humanity. When I don't work intensely in the heavens, which some way happens all the time anyways, but when I'm not consciously focused on the heavens, I'm focused on the earth in ways that sometimes are entertaining, like watching movies and look at the creative potentials and the beauty of the artists who bring something to humanity and give some food for thought, and a vicarious experience of something that would help people to make up their minds, and the development of characters that will teach people what kind of characters are worth developing and following. So the artistic creations are important to me. The Olympic Games are important. The Oscar is something that I wouldn't miss. And I'm watching a lot of Netflix because it's very convenient. I have my laptop right near me. I work in the heavens, and then, okay, I turn on the laptop before I go to rest or whatever. And I've found there also documentaries that are of great importance, that are a mirror of how wonderful people are. Either wonderful in the courage of sinking under the sea, or flying over the mountains and peeking into volcanoes and other things that they amazingly do. But one documentary that touched me immensely, and I definitely plan to get involved with them, is the documentary that I mentioned in the previous segment, which is Living on $1, filmed in Guatemala by two American students of international development. They came with wonderful ideas, and they lived there, they saw what it means. And as they came back from Guatemala, they done other projects as well, like they lived in the Syrian camps, and if I'm not mistaken, the same guys did that, or if not them, somebody else did it. I'll have to double check. I'll talk about these two that I know. Two people who didn't lack anything at home, who were raised into the facility of everything it takes, playing sports. They had sports equipment, having a life where they were not missing anything. And they volunteered to sleep on the floor, be bitten by bugs, have no food, living exactly the way the people in Guatemala lived. Obviously, they had a different strength, because they knew that for them it was a 2 months project. It was not a lifetime, but they understood what it means to be for a lifetime in those kind of conditions. And to see the generosity of people in Guatemala who have no food, but they invite people to dinner. To see the joy and the smile of people who also cry when they talk about their broken dreams, but they smile when they talk about their spouse, about their children, about their friends. To see, if you notice, there's much more smiling and much more laughter in the populations that have it hard, because somehow they've learned to enjoy life despite everything that they're going through and trying their best. Now, it's 1.8 billion people that are at that limit. 1.8 billion people is less than 7 billion. So actually the numbers of people who can have a home, who can have food, education, and a future is much larger than of those who don't. But it's exactly the proportion between paradise and non-paradise. But we have to bring paradise to them too, and we have to bring them to paradise. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the Mother. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Healing with the Mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia, of any kind, contact me, the Mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the Mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. We continue to talk about survival, which is the name of today's show, Survival, the first step to longevity. And we're talking about survival at the ends of the spectrum, survival for children who have to develop, to learn, so that they can live long and prosper. We're talking about survival for the elderly who are alive at a much more advanced age. We do have more people over 100 years than we had in a very long time. So evidently, people learn how to live longer, while medication, while the medical care, nutrition, exercise, changes in society are a great part of the longevity that people have. That is not all. There are people who had that all along and they didn't have the longevity over 70, over 80. Right now we have a lot of people over 100. We have thousands of people who are older than 100 years old. 20 years ago, it was exceptional that somebody would celebrate 100, and it was like they could hardly blow the candle hanging in there, and they were still alive, but most of them was already on other dimensions, in other worlds, or maybe nowhere as they were decaying. But right now we have people who are vigilant, who are active, and who are an example of longevity and of survival. So the more you survive at this spectrum, and at the beginning, the more survival for the elderly, the more survival for the young, and the more survival in between, through the way society is organized, through the way the connection to the divine evolves, through the way the divine protection that is available at all times is also received. You'll see that part of longevity is in some ways wisdom. Well, why would wisdom ensure longevity? Well, think of how many lives are finished in foolish ways, either foolish accidents or foolish addictions or foolish behaviors. And I'm not talking about people who are ill. I'm talking about people who indulge in being foolish. And many of them indulge in being foolish because of a hidden despair, because they couldn't see the future. They couldn't see what sense does it make. Like, carpe diem, live the moment, and that's it. Whatever is done, or just enjoy the speed, and if the car rolls, well, at least you enjoyed the speed. Because they couldn't see the benefits of the longer life. They couldn't see the benefits of the changing of society. They couldn't see the benefits of how beautiful everything will be, to live long and to develop to the point where they can go in divine form to other planets rather than have their bodies rot in the ground and some figment of their spirit taking off somewhere, and if they're lucky, their soul will do well and not end up in the bad place. So all the divine transformation was to protect spirit and soul and body and mind and everything else, but to teach people to configure their lives on earth, which is paradise, to configure their lives on earth in ways that any further evolution through other dimensions would be done well. So when they decide that it's time for them to leave the earth, they go in a good condition, in a good place, with a good attitude. So we are working now in making sure that every aspect of survival is being cared for, from the wisdom to drive carefully, from the wisdom to enjoy a glass of wine but not the whole barrel of wine, from the wisdom, I don't know how many would really enjoy that, particularly when they get a hangover, but from the wisdom of doing everything right to the intelligence of learning. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the Mother. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Healing with the Mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia of any kind, contact me, the mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Are actually active in the realm of intelligence. If they learn a new move for sport, for exercise, their body intelligence is invited. If they learn a new routine that would improve their lives, their life intelligence is involved. If they learn a new routine of improving the level of happiness and joy, and emotional intelligence is involved. If they learn how to understand the divine, divine intelligence is developed. People who learn never have dementia, and if they have dementia, in the little breaks so they can learn, they can get rid of dementia, because the mind is not going anywhere. But wherever the mind is stale, it feels like it's not there. If the mind is asleep or if it's hurt, it would give headaches, it would give discomfort, it would give fear, it would give paranoia, it would give loss of memory. But all of a sudden, if the mind is not stale and it is active, learning about body, about mind, about spirit, about divine, about earth, about society, about how to live longer, how to live better, you'll see people returning from Alzheimer's healthy. There are ways to return from Alzheimer's. Medication may be part of the help, but there's more to that. You'll see people who will return from dementia. There's already advanced work done in that direction, but I would like to see more understanding of the divine aspect of it. Because this is what paradise is the merging of human with the divine. And it's not the dissolving of human, it's the training of human in an intelligent way, in a higher understanding for each other, for themselves, for their future. Once this fourth dimensional reality, which is paradise, which happens on earth, once this fourth dimensional reality will bring the qualities of people compatible with their divine nature, then their divine evolution happens. And that takes time. That takes learning to come back to what they were supposed to live in the first place. People are born with the buds for everything that has to grow in their life, like buds of growth that will lead to gradual growth of the body and growth spurts. The same way you'll have longevity buds, and I'll describe that. The buds for longevity will invite to the understanding of divine qualities. A divine quality in a human would connect them to their divine presence and would increase the capacities. Divine qualities increase the capacities. The divine quality of loving life would increase the capacity of living longer. The divine and human quality, see, you have to have them on the divine, you have to have them on the human. The divine love for one another would increase the quality of family, of society, of enjoyment of doing things together, with respect, without devastating and destructive forms of social incompetence, which are actually the envy and the competition and refusing help when help is necessary. That's social incompetence. And the social incompetence comes from lack of divine qualities. One who develops divine qualities, they develop the social competence and the enjoyment. They'll find something beautiful in everybody, regardless what their condition is. They will find the beauty of the life of a homeless person and direct them to a home. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. If you miss our show, in between shows or otherwise, we offer classes with the Mother. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Healing with the Mother. If you suffer with spinal cord injury, paraplegia, quadriplegia, hemiplegia, of any kind, contact me, the Mother. I will heal you, and then we will show it on television to encourage all who need the healing. Do not hesitate to contact Sanda Davis, the Mother. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. And we've come to the end of today's episode. Hopefully it's not the end of the show. Hopefully the show will continue. Therefore, we do invite you to sponsor the show if you wish to. Find ways to be of support, because this is for you and for all of you, and I'll be happy to be here for you. I love working with the Vision Television, and I love working with the production company with which I'm producing the show now. But we'll adapt to what follows, and any of you who wants to get in touch with me has the ways to do so. The show is on the internet, and the information, the contact information for me is on the internet. Of course, unless you call for sponsorship on some vital question, ideally sending an email would take care of an initial communication, and then we'll take it further. But what I wanted to conclude for now is that the end of a show is not the end of Paradise. Paradise Now continues. With all the information that you've seen pouring in every episode since July of 2016, now today's episode 43, with all of those episodes come a lot of pages in the book that will be available, and it will have the title of the show. It will be called Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. Look for the book on my website. It will be available, and I can estimate that it will be available in the end of mid-June probably. It's just final touches in editing the material, but the vital information that you've had on the show so far will be in the book. This is what I'm sharing with you now, is just encouraging you to know that the process doesn't end, to encourage you to learn, to encourage you to be in touch, and to encourage you to work with me until the show is back on track, if it falls off the tracks. I'll try my best to keep it going. But it doesn't depend only on divine intervention, it also depends on human response and on business aspects of life, on aspects that involve many people making their choices, and that's totally understandable. We'll have to deal with these kind of things on our way from wherever we are coming in our journey to the fulfillment of paradise. Whatever you encounter in your own lives, just know that you are divinely assisted to go further and to overcome all hurdles. And I encourage you to keep the belief, keep the faith and the determination to learn, to advance, and to live forever, to be able to enjoy your further development in a positive environment, which becomes more and more positive every day. The sadness that I had at the thought that the show ends was surpassed by the joy that I have, and I thank you so much for all the weeks where you followed the show faithfully. Looking forward to speak to you again and to meet most of you as soon as possible.